everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about why is it so challenging to teach upper elementary music. It can be so tough to keep your upper elementary students engaged. And I feel like this is something in the elementary music world that we talk about quite a lot. I would love to take a moment today to talk to you guys about why I think that this might be an issue for our kind of collective group. And spoiler alert, it's not your fault. We are so tough on ourselves and make us feel like we're just not good teachers, but we are. And there's some core reasons why I think that it's an issue. So let's take a look at the root of this problem so that we can move forward. In today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the top reasons why it's so challenging to keep upper elementary music students engaged. So let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to share with you, I think, is the core of this issue, and it comes down to curriculum. I feel like there is not enough curriculum out there really catered towards upper elementary. Many curriculums that I've come across a lot of times go from K to 5, and then 6th grade's kind of just like an afterthought, and they're just kind of like figure it out. I also feel like when we go to conferences or there's websites, memberships, videos, blogs, it seems like a lot of it is focused, a good 75%, 80% is focused through that K to 3 kind of primary age group, and there's just, again, not enough for upper elementary. Another big issue with curriculum is, what do our upper elementary students want to learn about? A lot of times, and we've figured this out as a music community, is more modern music, more modern day. You know, it's a great way to engage your students. But these big curriculum companies have to get through a lot of red tape in order to actually make those lessons. You know, copyright, getting the rights to the music or the lesson, and that can be really expensive and take a lot of time. So then it comes down to you as an educator to create these lessons yourself for your students. And again, that takes a lot of time. And when you only have a half an hour to an hour prep every single day, sometimes it really doesn't happen because it takes hours and hours to, have that creative mindset and be able to put together these lessons. Next up is, my thoughtful title is, Being a Preteen is Tough. I think it's a really, supercharged time in life. We all think back to kind of our junior high time, and there's a lot going on. And I think the two things that are really important to students at this time is peer relationships and also just kind of finding your confidence. And music really pushes you out of your comfort zone. There's a lot of social risk that goes along with music. And so really thinking about that. Music can lead to a big confidence booster and can help students interact, but it also can do the opposite. I don't know how many times I've talked to people that have trauma about them with singing and someone telling them that they were not a good singer and things like that. So we really have to think about that with this age group and designing our lessons. How much are we asking older students to put themselves out there? And again, going back to that social risk, making sure that we're balancing that and we're not asking too much of them. Another part of this is students are really starting to become aware of the gender roles that go along with music. I see the big spectrum of men seeing, music as a feminine thing, and then seeing PE as a masculine thing and liking PE more than music. I also see this a lot with singing in general. Singing is seen as feminine. I think it comes back to us as music educators continuing to educate, but students are becoming aware of those societal norms and trying to figure out, what to do about it. And so I think that is also a big challenge during this time period, is they become really aware of that. Third reason is they're bored. And I say that in the most loving way possible. Think about these students and that, schooling, elementary school is the longest possible time you're going to be at one school. You're going to be there for 6 to 7 years. Junior high is 2 to 3 years, high school is 4 years, college is 4 years. And so I think it's really healthy to have that next stage and that change. And so students, in 5th and 6th grade, you feel that angst of they're ready for the next stage, but Maybe sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are. And so really combating that with maybe having a shift in how you teach music starting in 5th grade or starting in 6th grade. And so those students are so used to kind of this formula. And I feel like, college really prepares you for teaching kind of that kindergarten to 3rd grade primary music. And that formula works perfectly. And like playing, learning through play and things like that, I just think it's like perfect. I think it works really well. Don't, reinvent the wheel when you don't need to. But at the same time, I think we try and fit that formula in with our older kids, and it just doesn't work. They're really ready for a change. And so something that you can do to kind of shift it to make that difference of like, now this is our upper elementary music lessons, and they're way different from our primary, and making that shift for them. And finally, number 4 is a little sometimes out of your control, and that comes down to teacher to student relationship. And what I mean by that is when you come into a school and maybe you haven't been there very long, it takes a long time to build that trust with your upper elementary students, especially when you're just coming straight into it. Like maybe it's your first year at that school and you got your 6th graders and you didn't have them in the younger years to really build that trust. So I think sometimes it's just out of your control. Like, of course, you're going to do the best that you can as an educator to build relationships. But I do think sometimes just the longer you're at a school and the longer times that you have to like build a relationship from when they were young and build that trust so that they have that safety in your, in your classroom when they get older, and when they do start to really think about that risk of like feeling embarrassed or confidence or peer relationships and pushing them out of their comfort zone, they feel a little bit more of that trust with you and they're more willing to. So sometimes I think it comes down to just being at a school for a while and knowing that it might take years to really build relationships with students, so that when there's more things going on and you're asking more of them when they're older, that they have that really built relationship with you and that trust in you, that they will, take the risk in your class and, push themselves out of their comfort zones. So those are my top reasons why engaging upper elementary music students is a little more difficult. And this mission of this video is not to like take the ownership away from the educator and the effort and time that you should be putting in to, reaching every student. But at the same time, it's also validating you and knowing that and telling you that you're not alone and that there are some factors at play that I think make it more challenging. This is something I have felt since day one of teaching elementary music. I think it's something that I have thought about a lot, obviously, making this video. And so I hope that we can come together as a community and continue to work on this, because I know a lot of teachers feel this way. And we're all trying to kind of figure out what to do. And I think what we've made some strides in bettering our experience, or bettering the experience of our upper elementary music students, but I think we have a little bit of ways to go. And so I hope we can come together as a community and share our experiences and learn from each other and build a better experience for our students. So I would love to know your thoughts on the subject. Please leave anything you got in the comments below. I would love to start a dialogue and just talk more about this. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.